Yesterday, I reported that the FBI, along with New York Police Department Special Victims Unit, had raided the Caribbean island of Little St. James, owned by the alleged to be dead Jeffrey Epstein. Along with the investigators came super-secret Russian ground-penetrating radar scanners and a crew of Russian soldiers trained in its use. Confirmation of the discovery of children's skulls and skeletons is sending shockwaves through the online truther patriot community. Of course, all who have skin in that game are panicking. The obvious, little-mentioned involvement by the Russians. Vladimir Putin obviously had to authorize the lending of secret ground-penetrating radar devices tells me that Vladimir Putin is one of the good guys, which explains the deep state's efforts to paint him as the enemy, and even at the risk of world nuclear war. Their depravity is beyond satanic, beyond psychopathic. It is something that has never before been seen in this plane of existence. For those of you who do not believe in God or Satan, and that good and evil are simply societal relativistic terms, let me tell you, we are staring the devil right in the eyes without even knowing it when they take the podium in human skin, feigning their innocence and virtue-signaling bullshit. Everyone who has ever been on that island is a murder suspect. They should all be summarily arrested under the law they passed in 2001, the Patriot Act. We have the evidence. What the fuck are we waiting for? There is no longer any doubt. We have been silenced too long. We have been overwhelmed with bullshit, and it's time to rise up. People who murder children should be slowly tortured in the most gruesome way imaginable. And for those who disagree, fuck you and get the fuck off my channel. As for me, my PTSD is triggered. Tired of the lies, tired of the constant attacks on my president, tired of paying the salaries of all the criminals infesting our government. I'm sick to death of the wretched reek of dog shit covered in political rose petals. The putrid stench of these human apparencies has fouled this planet far too long. It's time for a revival of God-fearing humanity across the planet. Such depravity proves that demons can take human form, and that some people, if they didn't sell their souls to Satan in the Bohemian Grove's cremation of care ceremony known in biblical terms as blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, some apparencies of human beings are born without a soul, and the vacancy of that spirit which makes us human beings in the image of God transforms that shell, which is an apparency of a human being, into a walking, talking monster. It's time for the Great Awakening to put on the whole armor of God, to recognize evil when it's flaunted in our faces, and to wield the sharp blade of truth, which will spell the demise of all these evil bastards. It's time for the whole of humanity to become inglorious patriots and fight the battle for justice. It is time for Revolution 2.0. Saddle up. Now, this is a post by Trending Politics, a post that I don't normally follow, but the link was in the description section of some other videos that I saw. The headline reads, Report. These were Epstein's last words to his lawyers before his death. And this is by Colin Rugg, and he cites sources as New York Post and Washington Post. The more we find out about accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein's death, the more suspicious things seem to be. According to Epstein's lawyer, the multimillionaire seemed to be in great spirits before he allegedly killed himself in jail. He even told his lawyers, "I'll see you Sunday." It gets even stranger. Epstein allegedly told his lawyers that the neck injuries he suffered in late July were due to an attack by his ex-policeman cellmate not an attempt at suicide. This revelation is ultimately what got Epstein out of Suicide Watch. Well, not only is he a serial chomo, he's a snitch too. Oh man, that would really get you really high-ranking status in general population anywhere in the country. Another development in this story is the fact that Epstein was pretty optimistic that he would be able to walk away from the accusations against him. Yeah, right. And if sparrows had banjos in their asses, there would be music in the air. The New York Post reports, Epstein's optimism behind bars, expressed during daily visits with his lawyers that lasted up to 12 hours each, was so great that it struck some of those around him as delusional, the source said. He thought he was going to win the double jeopardy motion, which is what his lawyers were planning on filing. Well, double jeopardy from Florida in New York, I don't think will apply, and it wasn't the same crimes with the same victims, so that double jeopardy motion wouldn't apply, and any jailhouse lawyer will tell you that. Check out what the New York Post reported. The multimillionaire, who was jailed in Lower Manhattan on orders from a judge who cited his uncontrollable sexual urges, also had hope of getting bail on appeal, the source said, through an application that was pending before U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals at the time of his death. What he really wanted to do was get bail so he could cooperate, the source said. He wanted to get bail so he could be a snitch the second time. Unbelievable. But whatever evidence Epstein may have had against his rich and powerful former friends died with him because he kept no diary or notes that documented any alleged wrongdoing, the source said. No, he just had cameras all over the fucking place, just for shits and giggles. He was delusional, the source said. He thought he was going to get the same deal he got in Florida. Epstein, 66, pleaded guilty to 2 state charges of solicitation of prostitution, one involving a minor, as part of a sweetheart deal in which the then Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta approved a non-prosecution agreement over allegations the financier sexually abused dozens of underage girls at his waterfront mansion in Palm Beach. Acosta was forced to resign as U.S. Labor Secretary last month over controversy sparked by Epstein's July 6th arrest on a child sex trafficking indictment obtained by Manhattan U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman, who has said he's not bound by the non-prosecution agreement in Florida. I wholeheartedly agree. Another development in the Epstein case came after his autopsy was released, which revealed that he had several broken bones in his neck, which is common in homicide victims. Among the bones broken in Epstein's neck was the hyoid bone, which in men is near the Adam's apple, the Washington Post announced. Such breaks can occur in those who hang themselves, particularly if they are older, according to forensics experts and studies on the subject, but they are more common in victims of homicide by strangulation, the experts said. On Monday, the New York Post reported that Epstein was found hanging in his Lower Manhattan jail cell with a bedsheet wrapped around his neck and secured to the top of a bunk bed, and apparently killed himself by kneeling towards the floor and strangling himself. This shocking new revelation comes just after the bombshell report came out that the 2 guards on duty in the jail where Epstein was held just so happened to fall asleep while Epstein's alleged suicide took place. They then falsified the jail records to cover up their mistakes. And the cameras blinked out too, I might add. Supposedly, allegedly. People familiar with the autopsy, who spoke on the condition of anonymity due to the sensitive stage of the investigation, said Sampson's office is seeking additional information on Epstein's condition in the hours before his death. I don't know how they're going to do that because he was alone in his cell and the cameras were off and the guards were asleep. The Washington Post continues. That could include video evidence of the jail hallways. I thought the cameras were off, which may establish whether anyone entered Epstein's cell during the night he died. Results of a toxicology screening to determine if there was any unusual substance in his body, and interviews with guards and inmates who were near his cell. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. Here's my thoughts. Bullshit. Hello, this is Dave from Net4Truth USA, Whirlwind, Revolt. It is 0026 hours, August 16th, 2019. And I'm up having a cup of coffee and a cigarette, picking fly shit out of pepper all day. I was absolutely blown away by the revelation that bones have been found of little children on and around Epstein's island. Apparently, Vladimir Putin lent us some very sophisticated ground-penetrating radar technology that was used in the effort because they knew that if there was any evidence, it would probably be buried pretty deep. But they found a tunnel going down from that temple that led into a pipe, which in turn led out into the ocean. There is no more details than that. We have been saying this and saying that there's satanic ritual abuse, satanic sacrifices, cannibalism, and all manner of evil shit that one could possibly imagine. Something that Alfred Hitchcock would find horrifying. And we've been saying it for years. For years. And speaking for myself, I kind of knew that I knew, but I was hoping and praying that I was wrong. Because my being wrong and my being, I don't know, excoriated as a bullshit artist would be a small price to pay for the lives that we allege were lost in this, I don't even know what to call it. There's no name for what they did. No name. There's no crime in the books that specifies exactly what the hell it is these people did. Do I believe that Epstein is dead? I don't know, it's kind of hard to believe that a psychopath who was optimistic that his lawyers would get him off either by paying off the judges or by paying off somebody that, or by bribing, blackmailing, like he's done for the last all his life, practically. I find it hard to believe that someone who is that optimistic all of a sudden just hangs himself. That doesn't make sense. And the swirling controversy, or as the English would say, controversy, of all of the conflicting information that has come out trying to explain how this guy ended up dead, leads me to believe it is all bullshit. And you have one or two choices. Either the black hats got to him and he's dead, or the white hats got to him and they made it like he was dead, and now he's somewhere in Gitmo snitching, hoping to get a deal. See, this is why I can't be a cop. Some of these motherfuckers would never make it back to the police station. That dude would have never made it to the police station if it was me. Never made it. He would have jumped out of the car at 60 miles an hour. Well, what happened? He tried to escape. Sometimes street justice is the only justice. And we've been hoping and praying for justice for a long, long time. And some of us have known about this type of shit since forever, and kind of hoped that... Stop snoring. And kind of hoped that it wasn't true. But we've been validated, vindicated, and shown to be the truth tellers that we are. And I'm just in shock. I don't even know. My words escape me. I was sitting all day trying to figure out what to say in this video, because this is validation of our worst nightmares, folks. A child goes missing in this country once every 40 seconds. And how many have gone missing, and how many have been sacrificed, abused, raped, tortured, hunted, who knows? This shit's gotta end. And the DNA of the people who do this type of shit has to be eradicated from off the face of the earth. This is the only way. If you got a house full of roaches, you got to kill them all. You got to get them all. Because if you don't get them all, they'll come back. This is... What we're looking at is some kind of hybrid between Satanism and the Third Reich or the Fourth Reich, because Nazis are in our government, been running our government since forever. They got their pals out under Operation Paperclip after World War II. All of the ones who should have stood trial at Nuremberg got recruited into scientific positions. Some of them became, NASA scientists, shooting up rockets, and all of that kind of neat stuff. Did they help the country? Yeah, but they're Nazis. And not for nothing, I don't want no help from Nazis, and I don't want no help from no serial chomos. So, if you are one of these people like Epstein, the only deals you're going to get is, we'll put you to death quickly, painlessly, if you tell us everything you know. If you bullshit us, or you leave something out, we'll put your brain in a jar, and we'll torture that brain until it decomposes into its formaldehyde or something. I don't know. Think of something Alfred Hitchcockish, and it'll be too good for him. We know that a lot of the people that we respected, a lot of the people that we admired, a lot of Hollywood actors with tremendous talent. Robert De Niro, for Christ's sake. Avangula you, disgraziato. Disgrace to the Italian race. And I'm Austrian and German. My mother was Italian. And I just can't fathom this at all. And it's all been an incremental attack on our society since since at least JFK. I can't speak for before JFK because I was a kid. What the hell did I know? But I know when they shot JFK, something terrible happened. And our inspector, the architect of the magic bullet, the biggest bullshit artist on God's green earth, the man who my late friend Arthur Bernclough used to send boxes of dog shit by UPS every week with his business card poked into it, trying to provoke him into filing charges so Art could take his evidence that soldiers coming back from the first Iraq War with this condition they used to call Gulf War syndrome were really being poisoned by depleted uranium. And I guess our inspector was too smart to take the bait, but Art Bernclough had a hand truck full of boxes with documentation proving beyond the shadow of a doubt and to a moral certainty that that's what happened. And before he passed away, I had the honor of writing the amicus brief, or one of the amicus briefs, that got Senate Bill 3421 passed. So at least we were able to help a lot of... Stop snoring, Ninja. God damn. The dog snores like... Unbelievable. Well, she's one of the two joys of my life here. I shouldn't yell at her because she wakes me up when I have my little PTSD episode dreams from the nightmare I went through. So, this is a sad day because it proves that everything that we have been saying, everything that we have been alleging, as terrible as it is not a figment of our imagination, is not clickbait. It's not some bullshit story we pulled out of our ass. It's empirical fact. 800,000 children missing in the United States every year. That's a fact. Nobody talks about it, but people right here on this medium and other platforms. And every chance I get, I'm going to remind my listeners and my subscribers that that is a fact that needs to be dealt with. And it needs to be dealt with immediately. A child goes missing in the United States every 40 seconds. So in the time that this video has been running, probably 300 or 400 children have disappeared. Think about that. I'm going to try and get some sleep. I don't think I'm going to be successful. And I don't take any pills. I don't take nothing. I don't touch, not even an aspirin, because I don't know what the fuck is in it anymore. Every 2 days now, some other new shit comes out on TV for some imaginary bullshit. They're trying to drug us into submission. And if that don't work, they'll take our guns. So all we'll have left to fight the Fourth Reich is a fucking pea shooter. This is Dave from Net for Truth, USA, Whirlwind, Revolt. Thank you very much for listening. God bless. Godspeed. Please subscribe to our backup channels, Whirlwind Revolt, Inglorious Patriots, and Net for Truth USA 2 Patriot Channel. You can also find us at Net for Truth USA on BitChute. We fly so close to the target, we're on our 4th fighter jet. We will be relentless truth seekers until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/net4truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.